Hello, everyone. This is welcoming you back to our leisure podcast. Always keeping your real estate journey in check. My name still remains Matthew Joseph, and as usual, I have with me
Omo Shalewa, aka Shali Case.
Yes, Charlie K, you're welcome. Now, in this episode today, we will be exploring the pros and the cons of buying land from a real estate developer versus purchasing directly from the local community.
I will also be discussing factors like pricing, legal risk, land ownership verification, infrastructural development, and long-term value.
Plus, we will share expert insight and real-life experiences to help you make the best decision for your investments.
Okay, now, buying from real estate developer and buying from the community, what's your take? Which do you think is the best?
Well, when you ask me what is the difference between buying from a real estate developer and buying from the community, of course, there is huge difference.
Okay.
Now, when you talk about buying from a developer, who is a developer? Now, a developer is somebody who has already put in money, put in his time, invested all his resources to ensure that he puts a piece of land, ready for use for anybody.
Okay.
Now, and how do you go about that? Now, you discover that all lands in this country belongs to the government. But even at that, there's still a provision that says indigents or dwellers also have a stake, have a part to play when it comes to land dwelling.
Okay.
Now, when that happens, there is what we call settlement and resettlement.
Now, settlement and resettlement. Okay.
Yes. Any village you go to today, there are dwellers. There are people that tells you that our great ancestors have lived here for years, and that you cannot dispute with them. But that does not give them the ownership of that land.
Okay.
Now, so even if a community sell land for you, which of course they do at a cheaper rates, you definitely now go to do what is called a recertification with the government of the land. Because every land in any community belongs to a state and belongs to a government. And the government of a state have what is called a master plan of the state. Every state has what they plan for that state. Now, the beautification, the skyscrapers, industrial areas, and whatever you can think of that makes living, very cool and sweet.
You mentioned, you said buying from community is cheaper. Do you think it's cheaper?
In the real sense, it is not cheaper, but it looks cheaper. Now, when you buy land from a community, like I mentioned, you need to go for what is called recertification and authentifying the document of that land.
So, as the buyer now,
as you're buying from the community, what they give to you is just a piece of paper with an agreement signed. I bought, you witness, the chief signed, I paid money, and go. That does not make it a valid title. So for that land to own a title, you now need to visit the government, Department of Lands, or as it may be, different states have what they call it. Now, when you get there, there are now processes of recertification. Now, you have to do what is called survey. That means you have to call the government engineers to go survey the land. Then you now have to do what is called verification of the land, and to also check on the design. Where does that land fall? Of course it is stressful, but that is what developers go through for you to now just come and see an estate already fenced and ready for development. Now, you don't go through all those hassle of recertification. Now, one thing developers also do is, as you're buying land from the community, do you know you still pay all the economic crops? All the farms they have already cultivated on that land, you still pay for it. Why? Because you want to make use of the land. So developers go through a lot of stress to ensure that you come and have a land that you can cultivate or you can build upon to call a home. So buying from the community actually looks cheap, but in the real sense, it is not so cheap.
Personally, I just feel buying from community too is not bad. The only thing you go through, for me, is the infrastructural development that is not there. Then the stress of your going for your papers and all, just the stress, the general stress.
So that means you have bought a land in the community?
No, I'm saying this from my community.
From your community?
You know, in a community close to mine, there's one man, I think he picked the first layout, like from the junction.
You mean the corner piece?
Yeah, as they call it, the corner piece.
Yeah.
So he picked that, and after building his house, he did his drainage immediately. So the next person too did the same. But now let's now follow it inside where the street ended. Other people did not do that. So once the dirt, all the yama is coming from the street, from the junction, it's fell inside the gutter. Instead of that to go out and connect to the government drainage, that one cannot happen. All the dirt will now spread to the area, to the streets, just because after the first house, the second house, the third house, other houses in that area has no drainage.
Now you see that's where knowledge is lacking.
Yeah, actually.
And that's why we always talk about real estate developers. Now, what you just explained now, this experience that you cannot find in a real estate developer's site.
Actually, you can.
Now, there's what we call proper planning. And the government actually plans every community. But communities and development comes in phases. Now, tell me, how many years do you think government presence would get to that community? That you cannot ascertain, because planning of state comes in different phases. Now, but for an estate developer, one of the foremost things they put in place for people to come and start working or to start development is the infrastructure. And one of the things is the use of drainage. Now, drainage also makes up the streets, because that's where they take the alignment of the street or of the road from.
Please,
now,
for people in my area that are watching this,
exactly.
Drainage, we mean the gutter.
Yes, the gutter that you dig in your house. Now you discover that you said that fellow dug a gutter. The next person also dug gutter, which is called drainage. Now, but what happens to the third person? He felt he has no need for it, but that cannot happen in a properly planned settlement. So that is why we always try to advise people, in as much as you think that buying property from the community might seem cheap, there are a lot of hassles and hazards that comes with it.
But do you know, if at all you get it right, like buying from the community, if at all you get it right,
but how do you get it right when your neighbor is not ready to?
Get it right is from buying the land. Like maybe I'm buying from you. The land belongs to your father.
Right.
And I'm buying directly from you. So I definitely know the first bag is me confirming my money is safe with
But have you asked yourself, if I'm the only son of my father, have you asked yourself that question? Because that's one of the headaches that you go through when you buy property from the community.
You should have no spoon now. Why are you with shovel?
No, you understand now?
Why are you with shovel?
My father had 7 children, and I am the 3rd child of the family. I have 2 older brothers in front. You understand? Now, probably because I stayed closely with my dad, I actually have the opportunity to know where the document of the land is. That is, if it ever had one. Because what most communities do is, once you, this is my land, this is your land, this is my land, mine begins from here, yours begins from here. Now, I want to sell half of it. Now, the only thing we just do is get a paper, bring pen, we write, I, so and so, sold this parcel of land to you at the sum of this. That is all. I sign, I get my witness to sign, you come, you sign, you get your witness to sign. Then the next thing, we go to the village chief, and the village chief put his stamp. Mostly, let me even tell you, shock you, the village chief does not even see that document. It's those boys that work with the chief that stamp those documents and give to you, and you go and hide it under your bed that you already bought a plot of land. But meanwhile, they have failed to understand that that land they are selling to you maybe is under government acquisition. And when you talk about government acquisition,
that's another.
You understand? Maybe there is a design for infrastructural development that has already covered that part that have been sold to you. So what happened if government now come tomorrow and say there's a dual carriage way that goes through that place?
That's why most time we just keep blaming government. Demolishing.
Always.
They're demolishing here.
Exactly.
Because we refuse to go through the normal way, normal route, normal process. Okay, this is it. Government has already have their plan. Okay, the road follows it.
Yes.
But okay, somebody like me now, I don't know. I already bought land here. And as the car is coming, on my roof, the map will take you on my roof.
Definitely.
And anytime the governments are ready to settle that area, that community, definitely
that house will go. It will go. Now, imagine when they were expanding the Abuja International Airport.
Okay.
Do you know the land which was earmarked for that airport has been there as long as 19 something?
Very long.
But do you know that people have been living in that axis? They call it Zigwagwajiwa. People have been living in that axis for so long because government was not ready for that development at that point. But for the government we have now, they have seen the need to expand the runway. What happened? Those people have been quitted from that place. And people have sold that land, resold, built land, and built on it, even collected rent on it. But now they have moved from that place. So that is one of the challenges when you're buying from the community. But of course, this is a topic that we cannot exhaust today.
At all. This topic cannot end today. It's not even ending anytime soon.
Anytime soon, you get.
So you guys should stay tuned and watch out for another episode on this same topic. But before then, what is your take? Buying from real estate developer or buying from community? What would you like to say to our audience?
Of course, when you ask me that, you know what I will say, but let me reserve my comments.
Okay, since he's reserving his comments, drop your comments, like, share, and subscribe. Let's know your own take on this topic. See you again this time next episode.
This is keeping your real estate journey in check.
Bye.